Welcome everybody to the LoRa Alliance webinar. Today webinar we'll talk about manufacturing and different kind of cases there. So what we mean with monitoring production. So how we can help to monitoring production facilities, how they could gain advantages using the LoRa Alliance technology. So what we add to that is how to automate the process, find anomaly detection on machines that going bad, reducing scrap when they are producing, reducing maintenance costs, but also keeping the quality of the everything they are producing and make sure that the process they have is accurate. So what we will present today is an end-to-end solution. That means that we actually have solution and products for reading the sensor to aggregate different kind of data values and send that through a network. That means that the network owner take all the data, send the data the entire way from the factory to your data centers for analytics. So that is what we are doing. So before I continue, I will present myself. My name is Jörgen Persson. I'm the chair of Smart Industries, but I also the CEO of Vestetech. We're doing devices for tracking, meaning positioning, GPS positioning, and other things. But we're also doing applications, so easy applications for people to see. For instance, we have construction site management, where you could track all what's happening on the construction site, but we're also doing livestock and as well herding, I would say. So that is what we are doing, but we are not here to talk about me. We will continue what we are doing within the LoRa Alliance. So here we go. So within these smart industries, we are not only doing manufacturing. So, but by using the technology, we see that there are so many industries that have the ability to using the LoRaWAN and give them to digitalization of their operations. So everything from oil and gas as manufacturing that we are looking into today, chemical processing, power generation and transmission networks, construction site management, general tracking and personal safety, and agriculture things like machinery in the fields and livestock like cows and animals and different kind of things. So this is what we are doing within the smart industry group. And I think there are so many opportunities that you can actually run. And today's agenda, you could say I'm more or less done here, but we also have Actility with Nadine, we have Honeywell, and we have a Pepperl+Fuchs. So let's give the floor to Nadine, and she will present what Actility is doing on the network side and all the features they actually have. So all for me.
Hello, everybody, and welcome. A few words from my side to introduce myself. I'm Nadine Jäger. I'm working at Actility for 2 years now, and my position is Sales Director for DACH region, Czech Republic, and Poland. I'm of French-German nationality, and I'm also participating in the German task force of the LoRa Alliance as a vice chair. For those who don't know Actility yet, here are some words about the company. Actility is a leading provider of IoT connectivity, founded back in 2008 and backed by major investors like Orange, Bosch, or Swisscom. We also have an affiliate called Abiway that is specialized on geolocation solutions with the tracking of objects or for personal safety, with 2 main devices, Compact Tracker and Smart Badge. Hopefully you can see them here. We're around 130 employees and a global company with 10 country locations in Europe, North America, and APAC. We address three main market segments. The first one are public operators, with over 50 public operators that have built their national public networks. The second market segment are private dedicated enterprise networks. However, we are present in more than 100 countries with over 40,000 gateways on field. And the last one, our geolocation solutions with over 200,000 devices delivered yearly. Besides that, we have a ThinkPark marketplace, which can be compared to the Amazon of IoT, and a community platform that allows device makers or application providers to test the interoperability of the products with our network server. Few words about LoRaWAN and its position. LoRaWAN is the abbreviation for Long Range Wide Area Network. And as it says, long range and low power covers a sweet spot among the wireless technologies. Long range means in a very dense urban environment, it can be up to 2 kilometers, and in a rural space, it can be over 10 kilometers. Low power, because we mainly use battery-powered sensors with several years of lifetime. And in the meantime, you can also find now solar-powered sensors or sensors using energy harvesting. LoRaWAN is a high penetration technology, high penetration into buildings, covering several floors and even reaching basements. It's low cost, especially compared to cable technologies or cellular, and using a license-free ISM band. And it's a secure technology encrypted from the sensor to the app. There are different types of network that you can use, either public networks. In this case, you rely on a network that already exists and you don't need to deploy your own gateways. But sometimes it can be challenging if you're in a very remote area where there is no coverage. Or you can have a private network. In that case, you have your own network and your own gateways and control over traffic and data. And then you can set up your gateways in different locations that you choose. There are also hybrid networks that allow you to move between public and private, especially useful, for example, for tracking use cases, or the community network where individuals provide the connectivity publicly. You have different deployment models. It can be either as a SaaS solution on the cloud or self-hosted deployment, either in a private cloud or on customer premises. Here's the global market trend. You can see that utilities is a very huge market, especially with all the metering use cases, but also logistics and supply chain and industrial and building automation. Short overview over the different technologies. In dark blue, you can see here NB IoT. If you remove this NB IoT with 90% installed base in China, then you see that in dark yellow, this is LoRaWAN. You can see that this is still the most growing technology, and surpassing 500 million units in 2025. And this leads me to the LoRa Alliance that is also growing. Actility was one of the founders of the LoRa Alliance back in 2015 with 3 companies, and now there are more than 400 members from all over the world. Yeah, and LoRaWAN is a useful technology in industrial deployments. It can help you optimize efficiency, safety, and sustainability. There are different kind of industries: oil and gas, chemical processing, manufacturing, or power generation and transmission, where you can have a variety of applications ranging from, for example, monitoring your pipes and tanks, your fluid levels, monitoring your rotating equipment, predictive maintenance, monitoring site conditions. It can also be to optimize workflows or just to maintain regulatory compliances. And manufacturing can help you reduce energy costs by monitoring the consumption of energy, of water or electricity. And there are 2 use cases that we also cover with our exception Abbey Way. First one, the smart batch. It's certified for ATEX Zone 2 and ATEX Zone 1, and it comes with a panic button that can be activated in case of emergency, and it also has a buzzer, and it can, therefore, if you enter a dangerous zone, for example, a geofencing zone, it can also alert. And we have the compact tracker that is also available in ATEX certification. It already has IP68 casing and is available for ATEX Zone 0 and ATEX Zone 2 and can be used for every search and find use case. Yeah, but you will hear more real live applications from our partners. So yeah, I'm switching to the next slide. Here is the IoT solution overview with, let's say, 4 components. On the left-hand side, the device that sends the data to the gateway, also called base station. And the data is pushed to the LoRaWAN network server, the core element of your IoT solution that will concentrate the data and decode it. And we push it to an IoT platform or application. Yeah, and what makes ThinkPack Enterprise, our LoRaWAN network server, a good fit for industrial deployments? Well, first of all, it has an intuitive user interface. It's low touch and has an integrated network and device management. It's flexible in terms of deployment. You can either have it as a SaaS solution or on premises, independent on the gateway, vendor, and type on the ISM band. It's easy to integrate for device drivers and multiple cloud connectors. And it's a future-proof solution, providing off-the-shelf integration to the ThinkPack portfolio with, for example, our network-based geolocation with TDOA, roaming with our peering hub ThinkPack Exchange, or reliable multicast and FOTA firmware update over the air that is also supported by our network server, or the relay. It's a reliable network server providing high availability architecture, also for on-premise deployments and an advanced gateway software. I'll come to that point later. It's a secure solution. LoRaWAN is already a secure solution, but we have an additional security layer. And it's a scalable solution. Actility has a pay-as-you-grow business model and already good references with huge deployments. As an example, Birds in France with 3 million smart water sensors that are deployed nationwide. And it's a state-of-the-art solution with guaranteed product evolutions and support and maintenance around the clock. I want to show you that the deployment process is easy. There are 3 steps at a base station, at the application, and at a device, and then you need to associate it with the application and the gateway. I will show you a short video and just run you through the next slides with some additional information. The device QR code format that is standardized by the LoRa Alliance is another way of adding a device. You just need to flash it. You can see it, for example, on Epiway. And we also integrated it for base stations, even if it's not yet standardized at the LoRa Alliance level. We have built on payload drivers for more than 500 modes from over 128 device manufacturers, and additionally, you may bring your own custom drivers. We are a multi-vendor and global platform agnostic of the gateway brand. You can add any gateway through basic station, but there are some brands we have proven field experience with and huge deployments like Curlink, Multitech, Tictalic, or MileSite. And here we provide a piece of software, our own packet forwarder that allows for some advanced features like increased security through a VPN tunnel between the gateway and the network server, or for example, remote troubleshooting and reboot of the gateway, or network interface failover, etc. ThinkerPark Enterprise also comes with packaged connectors to popular platforms. And if you have an on-premise deployment, very common in the industrial environment, then you have also access to Modbus or OPC UA connectors. And now I show you a short video of how to integrate an industrial device.
Right. First, you'll need to create your base station. Here you'll find the way to add a base station. The list of base stations available in a few more manufacturers. You'll see that we are quite agnostic as we have nearly all the base stations available. And if you don't find yours, you can always go to generic. In this example, you will take a curling for this case. You have to decide which model you are using. So depending on the gateway you have, for example, an iFemtocell evolution from K-Link, you can download the image to install our LoRa packet on the gateway, then give it a name, retrieve the LoRa UUID inside of the support menu of the gateway once the packet is installed, define which RF region you are using, and then set up the public key that you'll also get from the support menu of the LoRa. If you want to set up a support account password, you can define your own, else it will be by default, and then you can add your gateway. Once added, the gateway will appear in the list, first as initialized, then either in connection error if it's down, or active if it's up. You can also then create a connection to direct your data to your application server, either with basic HTTPS, which, be careful, doesn't use the drivers to decode the payload from hexadecimal to JSON, or the IoT flow option. In IoT flow, you'll find a full list of all the options we have as connectors, such as basic ones like HTTP or MQTT, but also more specific ones such as the Azure options, AWS, or other specific use cases. Here you'll be able to define the endpoint towards which we need to push the data. And when creating the device, we'll add the connection to our device, so we know where to push the data once the device talks. Finally, you can go in devices. If you have a massive list of devices, you can import them, else you can add them one by one. Just like the gateways, we have quite a list of devices. So you'll most likely find what you want here. In our case, we'll create our Pepperl+Fuchs device available here. We select the model we have, for example, a Sonic level 4000. Depending on the account you have, you'll have a different option for the ISM bands. In this account, I only have EU868, so this is the one we'll use. We can give it a name, the name we want to find it afterwards in our data device. Simple test device. And be sure to put the tree to dev UI, which basically is the main identification of the device. The join UI, which you can also, which is not mandatory, so it can be left empty if it doesn't have a join UI. And finally, the F key of the device. In the connections, you'll find the different options that we created in connections, and there you'll be able to create to push the data to your endpoint. You can add between 1 and 5 connections, so you can send the data in multiple ways. Once that's done, you can add the device and it will appear directly in your list. In the case of the Pepperl+Fuchs example, you'll get, since we have a driver and a device profile, an image the status once it's talking with all the radio information, where we are pushing the data, and of course the data itself available down there.
There's one more thing I want to add. You have the possibility in ThinkPark Enterprise to create administrative domains to allow you full segregation of user permissions. You can, for example, define different domain groups with which can be defined by geography or by use case. For example, only temperature sensors, only predictive maintenance sensors, and you can narrow that down to user restriction with access to certain devices or gateways. Yeah, and then there is another possibility if you have a very small deployment, if you want to do a POC, if you have limited device density and data locality constraints, then you can also use a gateway with an embedded LoRaWAN network server. And in Actility, we call it ThinkPark All-in-One. It includes a joint server, and you have different possibilities. You can either use one single gateway that handles up to 200 devices, or you can have a setup with up to 5 gateways, 1 local gateway, and 4 remote gateways. Yeah, and if you have more questions about key features of our LoRaWAN network server, we recently published a white paper, and just write me an email. It's available in English and in German. And now I'm handing over to our partner Honeywell, who will show you some real-life applications in the industrial environment. Thank you very much.
Hey, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. I am Karthik, Director Offering Management Honeywell. Today we are going to talk about Equipment Health Monitoring System, the new Honeywell Versatilis IIoT offering. This is the brief agenda. We will give an overview of the offering, talk a bit about what LoRaWAN is about, dive into the solution, and significant amount of time we will be spending on use cases, and hopefully we will leave time for question and answers. So Honeywell Versatilis platform is essentially a wireless battery-powered multivariant device with a potential for energy harvesting to extend the battery life. As you can see on the left, multitude of opportunities are possible. To begin with, Honeywell has come up with several variants focusing on equipment and also emissions. And we will spend more time on the equipment side of the application. The wireless side consists of 2 technologies, LoRaWAN technology for long-range low-power application and also Bluetooth technology. And depending on the measurement of the device and depending on the amount of energy that gets consumed, technology is available to provide energy harvesting to extend the life of the battery, which is one of the critical customer needs. For those who are unfamiliar with LoRaWAN, let's take a moment and understand what LoRaWAN technology is. LoRaWAN is a long-range, low-power IIoT protocol. As you can see here, several hundred sensors can be connected to the LoRa network and at the same time can offer a very large battery life. Another unique aspect of LoRaWAN is the distance that it can cover. So large geographical facilities, commercial facilities, industrial facilities can quickly deploy LoRaWAN and gather data over large distances. And you don't need internet, and it's free of charge. And it's a very open protocol and provides excellent penetration into buildings and structures. So that's about LoRaWAN network. So in this particular solution, what are we trying to do? What is that we are solving for? Here, we are solving for equipment health and equipment maintenance. We are helping customers move from preventive to predictive, looking to reduce the unscheduled downtime, looking to reduce the manual data collection, looking to minimize the field trips, make the operation sustainable, and ensuring that the time to repair is reduced, overall leading to reduced maintenance cost and reduced operation cost. Let's see how the solution looks. The solution is a very simple solution. It's a sensor, and then there is a network, which is a gateway, also called a concentrator, takes this data from the sensor and relay it to a host. The host can be a Honeywell software or a third-party software. The data essentially is an open protocol. The payloader of the sensor is pretty much available in our website. So any third-party software provider can consume the data and provide meaningful installation. The Experion EHM software, equipment health monitoring software, has a capability to further distribute the data to a third-party system through OPC UA or utilize distributor server architecture to talk to a Honeywell DCS if a customer has one. And we also have a BLE wireless radio in the sensor, which can be used for data transmission as well as for device configuration using a mobile application, which is called Connect app. That's as simple a solution from our side. So what are the measurements that the device can do? The device can measure vibration in 3 axes, acoustics, full ambient and surface temperature, ambient pressure, as well as humidity. It does tremendous amount of edge analytics, helping customers estimate the speed of rotating equipment, also generate statistical parameters, and convert the raw data into a frequency spectrum. Despite being a low bandwidth protocol, the device manages to send top 36 FFT peaks, full energy bands across the bandwidth of the vibration data, also provide critical configuration data. The device is fully certified, capable of installed in a hazardous environment, has marine certification, also tested in NAMOR standards. It's a Class A device with 2.4 gigahertz bandwidth and also has a long battery life depending on how you set the measurement interval. Let's look at some of the use cases, and which is a significant part of this particular webinar. These sensors are deployed already in several industrial facilities. They include petroleum sites, cement plants, fertilizer plants, and steel customers. They're also deployed in several types of rotating assets. They include pumps, motors, fans, and also rotating equipments in different facilities. And we will talk more about them. Let's look at some of the important applications. One of the important application has been the monitoring of fans that are used in steel plants. In the steel plants, the fans are used to remove the dust particles, and ensuring early detection of the problem has been important, very important. Looking at a very valuable velocity RMS data, the sensor could provide such an important alert to the customer, thereby avoiding the downtime. Similarly, there were instances where the remote monitoring of pumps are enabled in some of the marine facilities. Here, based on the inherent feature that is available, which include monitoring the equipment based on the ISO parameters, the multiple rotating assets are really monitored remotely, helping customers minimize the manual work and avoiding unnecessary trips to these remote applications. Another interesting application is the ability to monitor hydraulic motors in the manufacturing of pipes. There are several such assets available in piping manufacturing, and monitoring them for any proactive maintenance is extremely important. Another interesting application has been in paint shops. In order to ensure paint quality, most important thing is the availability of good quality air, which means that we need to ensure supply as well as exhaust air is monitored and critical actions are taken. These include removal of dust particles, ensuring the air quality, removal of any positive vapors and all that. In addition, this provides safe work environment, and overall, the quality of the painting is also improved. Similarly, in some of the ovens and drying systems where painting is done on assets, the monitoring of ambient temperature, surface temperature, as well as humidity is extremely important. For example, in this particular case, the surface temperature of the oven is measured, which helped understand what is the typical temperature that is going behind that. And if the temperature is too high, the paint may peel. And if it is too low, then it leads to some other problem, calling for reworking of the entire workflow. And this has been deployed to ensure the process is having high efficiency and also the quality is maintained. Another interesting aspect is the ambient monitoring system, specifically used in healthcare facilities. In this specific case, in a Middle East healthcare facility, the ambient parameters are remotely monitored to ensure that the medicines are of high quality, because ambient temperature and ambient humidity is extremely important. And this ensures right ambient conditions, which is extremely critical. And Honeywell Versatilis systems, in view of their capability to measure ambient parameters, have been extremely useful. Another aspect of ambient monitoring is server room. Overheating has to be prevented. At the same time, energy efficiency has to be maintained. Humidity control is very critical. And for such a facilities, monitoring of ambient temperature and humidity remotely utilizing multitude of Honeywell Versatilis sensors has been extremely helpful. And if you look at the summary, the solution not just automates the data collection, thereby saving the labor cost. The rich data set that is coming from the sensor with the help of either a Honeywell software or even a third-party software provide right level of insight and also anomaly in real time. This in turn is helping customers to take quick action. And it's also possible in the Honeywell software to have write alerts on an email. This means that the customer need not sit in front of the station all the time, and they can go around doing their work while they get alerts over the email. The overall solution helps customer to plan and maintain. And in addition, the software provides valuable, rich health reports, which in turn can be used by reliability engineers, maintenance engineers, and plant operators. And more information about Honeywell Versatilis transmitters can be discovered through our website or by reaching out to our account managers. Thank you. Now I will hand over to my colleague, David from P&F for his session.
Yeah, hello everybody and welcome to my presentation about Pepperl+Fuchs and how we can seamlessly automate your factory with LoRaWAN technology. My name is Daniel and I'm working as a technology manager for Pepperl+Fuchs. So first of all, let's take a look on the company itself, Pepperl+Fuchs. We are a large manufacturer for industrial sensors, headquartered in Germany. And yeah, all around the world, we have almost 6,500 employees. We're having a large portfolio of sensors, around about 50,000 products, and Pepperl+Fuchs is part of the market for more than 80 years, so we gained a lot of experience. Yeah, automation is driven by these basic applications, solved by our highly diversified portfolio. So customers use our sensors for detection, for measurement, for positioning, for identification, and even for industrial communication between sensors and, for example, PLCs or cloud applications. And yeah, Pepperl+Fuchs is having several divisions. I'm part of the factory automation division, and this is the portfolio that we are offering to our customers. So as you can see, all of these sensors are wired sensors. And besides these wired sensors, why our customers need wireless sensors? So as you can see on the picture, it's a large factory, quite spacious. It could be the perfect Pepperl+Fuchs customer. And the person that is in charge for automation at this factory, at some point, he will, at some spacious area, he will at some point face the lack of power and data wires. And he also will have, in most cases, little time and budget. And so this is why we launched the LoRaWAN sensor portfolio Wilson a few years ago. So starting on the left side, we have our Wilson Sonic sensors. So maybe for your info, Wilson stands always for wireless sensors. That's quite important to know. The Wilson Sonic sensors are ultrasonic sensors for distance measurement. So starting with the smallest version for distance measurement up to 2.5 meter. Then we have the medium version for distance measurement up to 4 meter, and the largest version for measurements up to 7 meter. In the middle, you see the Wilson valve sensor. It's a sensor we launched last year in September, and it's really for monitoring valve positions. So if a valve is open or closed. Last but not least, we have our Wilson node sensor for the solution for various detection tasks. So there you have a little box, and you are able now to connect several sensors to the box or several technologies to the box. And yeah, you can add 2 sensors, and you can choose from inductive sensors, capacitive sensors, float switches. So there's a wide range of sensor technologies you can add to the sensor. Important to understand is that all of these Wilson sensors are coming with the following sensor features. So all of them are battery operated, all of them achieving industrial grade. They are all coming with LoRaWAN, and all coming with GPS for location. And if you don't need GPS, for example, you are able to turn it off to save some battery. Okay, so let's jump in some of our applications here. The first one is with a famous German car manufacturer. It's about container level monitoring. And the need of this customer was that he would like to understand the filling level and the position of containers and tanks inside the factory, so that the employees will empty and refill the containers or tanks as actually needed. So they are looking on a dashboard to see where the container is located, what the filling level is, and they can act as needed. And so for that case, the customer choose the Wilson Sonic sensor, as you can see on the picture on the right side. So for reliably detect the filling level by robust ultrasonic technology and the position thanks to integrated GPS module. The benefit here for our customer was that he is reliable and quick, or he is now or had now reliably and quickly automated the fill level monitoring in his plant, and the customer is having a high transparency about the condition. So no more empty runs for his employees. Okay, let's switch to another application here with European Aviation Group about the automation of intralogistics. The need for this customer was to monitor if storage area in his facility is occupied or free, so that the automated guided vehicle, an AGV, can deliver its load. And after the load is delivered, the customer also would like to continuously monitor the fill level of the load, so to trigger an AGV again when the refill is required. In that case, we used again the Wilson Sonic sensor to reliably detect the filling level. And as you can see on the picture, it was a really easy and fast retrofit thanks to battery operated wireless sensor. So just take the sensor, put it over the top or put it over the application or the asset, and just measuring the filling level. So the benefit here for this customer was that it's quick and reliable automation of this refill process and significantly reduced the time-consuming manual activities. Okay, then another German car manufacturer also having the request for the automation of intralogistics. The need here was to monitoring the container stock on so-called mobile material supply trolleys and to automatically alert the warehouse management when the refilling of such trolleys is required. In that case, we, together with the customer, choose the Wilson node sensor. We added 2 capacitive sensors to reliably detect containers and even cardboard boxes. And the great advantage here for the customer is that it's a standalone sensor for mobile applications, so perfect for trolleys, thanks to batteries, operation, and LoRaWAN. So the benefit here for this customer was that the customer was able to quick and reliably monitor material supply trolleys, and there's no need for time-consuming manual reordering anymore. Then we have the monitoring of factory gates within a European aviation group. The need here was to monitor if factory gates are open or closed, so to provide that info for facility management and or security. And again, we used our Wilson node sensor here, and we added one inductive sensor. So you can see it on the little picture on the top to reliably detect the gate. So to detect if the gate is open or closed. And thanks to our large portfolio of inductive sensors and mountings, we easily find the perfect solution for, or the perfect fit for this customer. And the benefit for this customer was that, again, we achieved a quick and reliable condition monitoring of factory gates, and the customer is having a high transparency about the opening status. So manual inspection every evening is no longer necessary. So the employees just checking the dashboard, and if some of the gates are still open in the evening, they can go to this specific gate and double check that gate. Okay, I have one last nice application for you with a German chemical company. It's about monitoring of hand lever valves. And the need here was to monitor the valve state. So if a valve is open, if it's closed, or if it's somewhere between that, so in an intermediate position, to report that info to employees if the status changes. And in that case, of course, we used our Wilson valve sensor. And the customer is now able to reliably detect the valve status thanks to inductive sensors, and thanks to an extensive mounting set for easy retrofit. The whole retrofit sequence, the whole retrofit process was quite easy and fast. So the benefit here was that the customer was able to quick and reliably did the condition monitoring of these valves, and manual monitoring of the valve status is now not longer necessary. All right, if you would like to experience these LoRaWAN sensors called Wilson, I'm looking forward to see you at the Hanover Fair this year in 2025. So it starts at the end of March, and you will find Pepperl+Fuchs in Hall 9, booth B76. So thank you very much, and now let's move on to the Q&A session.
Yes, hello everybody. Thank you for joining our webinar. I could also see that had coming in a lot of questions. I don't know if you can see them all. I'm might the only one that could see them. But before we start, so I will just go through. So we have around 15, 16 questions. See if we can answer them all. The first one is about high availability. I thought, no, it's removed now. Then the first one will be how to use an on-prem network solution and how it's managed. One is separately one by one, or are the central management interface which allows to manage different location on-prem network service in one place. Can you see that? I think that is Nadine. Is that for running on-prem solution? I assume that is will be on your table. I assume because it's a network management solution.
Yes, so if it's an on-premise, then it should be managed separately, indeed.
But there's also a trick. I know that I've been selling software, and it's always, when you have on-prem, it's always a challenge to do upgrades and so on. But let's continue. Then we have another question from him is, do you offer your services, SaaS services in China?
Unfortunately, no, not at that point. Yeah. So.
And then we have a new question for you. For this platform, what are the limits for how many devices that could be managed by one single gateway? And I assume there are different kind of gateways that could manage different kind of solution devices. But please go ahead, Nadine. It's yours once again.
Yeah, so actually the limit here is more on the gateway than on the platform, and I would say a couple of hundreds, and of course respecting the duty cycle.
We hope that is that we answered that correctly, even if we were a little bit wide on the amount. We were not exact how many devices that you could run. Then we have a tricky one. Can we get vibration spectrum data over LoRaWAN? And how versatile with... Can we get vibration spectrum data over LoRaWAN with versatilities?
Well, versatile
Yeah,
is
I think that's to
sensor.
me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I think good question. Yeah, we do send 36 peaks of vibration spectrum over LoRaWAN from Honeywell Versatilis device. Yes, it is possible. Yes.
The 36.
Yeah, 36 peaks of spectrum. Yes. Frequency spectrum. Yes.
Is that the answer?
Yes.
Perfect. Then we have another question. What are the battery life of the sensor? I assume, is that you, Daniel?
Yeah, I will take over. Yeah, thanks, Jürgen. Yeah, of course, the battery life, it totally depends on many factors. So like how often you are measuring, how often you are sending data, what's the temperature, are you using for our sensor, are you using GPS as well, are you using Bluetooth as well? But the lifetime is normally between 2 years and 10 years. So that's yeah, typical lifetime for our sensors. And I will also answer the second question. Can I change the battery? It's also a typical question. Yes, of course, you are able to also change the battery easy and fast.
Okay. Yeah, then we go for the new one. It's 2 questions, more to LoRa Alliance and LoRa Network Man. How do LoRa Alliance or LoRa Network manage frequency spectrum used by the regions? I assume you refer to Europe and US and Brazil and so on. Is that, Nadine, is a little bit your home field, or you just follow the standard, I assume, that each individual country have? Anyone else? Is that?
Yeah, I think I can also take it. Yeah, it's exactly, it's a standards question, but yeah, we provide a very intuitive method to configure that. We have an app that you configure that. We can reconfigure that and ship the device. While ordering the device itself, we give customers easy selection process, whether they're ordering from a EU region versus Pacific region versus America's region or other regions, right? So they are for different regions, and yeah, that is selectable and that is orderable. Yes. Santosh, do you want to add to that? Anything else, Santosh? Do you want to add?
I mean, of course, I mean, like the way you're trying to say, Karthik, we have flexibility during ordering itself. We can able to select whether you need, I mean, which area is the potential to use it, and accordingly we can able to just make the proper selection and the model selection guide and get the sensors delivered.
Okay.
Fantastic. Thank you for that. Then we have another question from him here. Does it allow the NTN or satellite connection for extreme remote areas where the LoRaWAN devices even can't not communicate or be connected with the gateway? I assume you refer, so if you have an extra, I could take that. So I know some of the satellite companies, and what many have is actually one is just the satellite is just the communication. So one is how they communicate with the satellite, and the communication there could actually be integrated to or with a cable to a gateway. So that means the satellite link is just one thing, is just communication, and then you can use that to add to a LoRaWAN gateway, and the LoRaWAN gateway could talk to the devices. That could be a solution that are already existing today. So that could be working very well. Anyone else on that?
Sounds fine, Jürgen, from my side.
Yeah. Now we have another one. Sorry, I have to read here. We have this is really interesting. We have a very strict cybersecurity standard that doesn't allow us to use wireless communication in many applications. How can this be addressed? Who will take that?
I think from a device perspective, I can certainly answer. Honeywell has a internal cybersecurity standard. We adhere to that. And on top of that, because we also have Bluetooth communication, we do penetration testing, and we also comply with the cybersecurity standards for that. In addition, we have also given this to Namur third-party labs who do the penetration test for any cyber-related issues, and they have in fact certified our devices for that. So, Santosh, do you want to add anything on top of this for cybersecurity?
Yeah, and also, I mean, apart from the thing that we're trying to do from third-party labs, as a LoRaWAN protocol, they also have an OTA, over-the-air authentication, which is always an AES 256 encrypted. So, which is one of the the greatest cybersecurity standard available. So, I think the products that we use are certified for, OTA, sort of. Communication, which are AES 256 encrypted. So obviously, I think they're all cyber secured.
That's the point for.
Okay,
Thanks,
I hope
Santosh.
we answer the questions correctly there. Then we have a new questions for Wilson. For Wilson sensor with GPS, does the location work only outdoor or it's also indoor, and what precision? And second question there, what is the estimated battery lifetime for the sensor if the GPS is enabled? Who will take that one?
I will take that over. Great question, typical question. So of course, outdoor GPS works perfectly fine. With a precision, depends a little bit. You have two modes you can choose. So you can choose economy mode for better battery lifetime. Then you have a precision up to 10 meter, and or you can use precision mode. Then you have a lower battery lifetime, but a higher precision, so up to 2 meter. And so it depends a little bit on you, what you're going to choose, what your application is. For indoor applications, of course, it's more tricky. So you definitely need to try. We have customers where it won't work because there's no signal inside. But we have other customers, large corporations, where where there was no problem to use a GPS indoor. And you need to try. Second question about the battery life. Again, it depends on so many factors. So as said, it depends on the mode you choose. It depends on how often you're measuring GPS. So with Wilson sensor, you can go down to every 30 minutes measuring, and the maximum is once a day. And so it depends on so many factors. But what I can say to you, we offer you a battery lifetime calculator. It's online, so it's on the web. You can just use that to see the estimated battery life of your specific application.
Thank you for that. Then we have a tricky one as well, maybe a hard one to solve. How to prevent potential data loss due to interference regarding RF solution depend on variant and topology and conditions and so on. Lost data. Anyone that are...
Yeah, Santosh, can you take that based on all the installations that we have done
Yes.
so far?
Yeah.
How did we achieve reliability? I know we have done some good work in several difficult sites, including large structures and also distance. Go ahead, Santosh.
Yeah, of course, this being something like an RF technology, there are chances of some sort of data misses or some sort of interference and everything. I think by choosing the proper gateway and proper LNS, I think we can able to really have some sort of a network intelligence to understand where to install the gateway and where to install the sensors, do the proper mapping, everything. I think we can able to really achieve very good amount of throughput for these sensors. And however, as we, this being a wireless sensors, it is always preferred to be for monitoring and not for control. That's a basic fundamental rule that everyone has to think of.
Okay.
Okay, I assume I take over there. And this is for Honeywell. Could you share your IoT LoRaWAN sensors full portfolio?
Yeah, absolutely. I think at this point of time, we have multiple parameters. Number one, equipment health monitoring that is capable of measuring vibration in 3 axes, surface temperature, ambient humidity, and acoustics. So you can use that for the purpose of ambient monitoring or any surface temperature monitoring or even equipment health monitoring. So 3 use cases there. On top of that, we do have methane sensing for leak detection of fugitive emissions, that is emissions monitoring. So this is the 3 use cases that we have: environmental monitoring, surface temperature and ambient temperature monitoring, equipment health monitoring, and emissions monitoring. Having said that, there are plans to expand this IIoT platform to include process pressure, process temperature, steam trap monitoring, valve positions, and several other things. So what is available now are ambient, environmental, equipment, and emissions.
And I assume they could find everything on the marketplace, LoRaWAN, LoRa Line marketplace.
Yeah, as a member of LoRaWAN Alliance, all the details, including the payloader details, are available in the LoRaWAN Alliance website. And if you want even more details, you can always visit honeywellprocesssolutions.com. So it's in our website too.
Yeah. Then we have still another battery questions, and Daniel, maybe for you as well. You have run the battery, so how is the downtime related to battery failures in sensors managed?
It's a nice question, typical question from customer side. So what we're doing at Pepperl+Fuchs, we offer you also the battery level via LoRaWAN. So you receive the information, what's the current battery level, so that you are able to set alarms, for example, to start or to change the battery before it's actually down. So that's what most of our customers do, just put an alarm and then change the battery before it's down, and then you are always good to go.
Okay, yeah, here is a little bit of a network question, I believe. Who do you contact if you want to create a private network for outside use using Spectrum A? Maybe Nadine, even if you're not allowed to sell anything. You are muted.
Oh, sorry. I think I was muted before. Yeah, just answering in private. Sorry. You can remove it.
Okay, perfect. Yeah. Then I continue. They're adding in more and more questions. Do you have a solution supported for LoRaWAN in Mexico? I think, Nadine, that is yours as well.
That's probably also for me. Yes, we have a few partners there. So yeah, if you're interested, I can get back to you with some names.
Then we work with Jordan. Then I assume that's maybe for you again, Nadine.
Not sure what's the question. Or is it just a statement?
Yeah, just a statement. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, maybe disappeared there. Then we have a new. Yeah, then it's also for you, Nadine. Are the gateways that can work offline mode, saving information until the gateway get connected? So storage information on the gateway, I assume.
Well, we have packet queuing. Not sure that this is what is meant, but yeah, if a message get lost, then you will get a repeating message, so you can make sure that the message is received.
Yeah,
and
and you
this is
can store
automatically
some-
treated, yeah, in the network server.
Yeah, so you can store some data on the gateway even if it lost the uplink connection. I think that is the question.
Yeah, just to add one other point on the similar topic. Being from Honeywell side, from the sensor perspective, we have some set of storage capability, provided, let's say, you don't have a connectivity to gateway, or gateway is still, it is still getting to network or something like that. We have a storage capability in the device which can able to store for a couple of days so that the data is not lost, and that can be retrieved using different applications that are available.
Good point, Santosh. Thank you.
Then it's a minimum entry cost lower than $2K US dollar. I don't know who will. Hard to see if there are any minimum entry cost to start, I assume.
So maybe I can say something about that.
Yeah.
Of course, it depends on what you're going to do, of course. Yeah. But here in Germany, I can say we have several industrial customers, smaller customers. They would like to start really easy with low-cost solutions with a first proof of concept. And in those cases, we are able to really have low entry costs and start around 2,000 euros in that case. Yeah. So of course, it depends on the solution, but with LoRaWAN, you have the opportunity to really start with low cost.
Right. Thank you. This is a question for discrete manufacturing, I assume. Is there any end-to-end solution for manufacturing execution? The solution are discrete for separate applications. Who will take this one?
Yeah, what are the question person? Sorry.
Is there any end-to-end solution for manufacturing execution? The solution are discrete for separate application.
Yeah, I think from Honeywell perspective, if there is a manufacturing application involving equipment emissions environment, end-to-end solution is possible. We can offer the sensing, we can offer the wireless infrastructure, or maybe together even with Actility. And we do have a software for remote monitoring and generation of reports as far as the equipment environment and emissions are concerned. So it can generate MIS reports, it can generate equipment health reports. So to an end, to that extent, yes, end-to-end solution involving sensor, network, and software is possible.
It's coming more and more questions in all the time. Then we have actually maybe a question for you. If you have any solution for gas leakage in a factory.
Yeah, we are beginning with methane emissions. We intend to add more. For now, methane leak detection is possible through LoRaWAN.
Yeah, and the range, which we're talking about natural gas leak, it can able to vary from 50 ppm to 1 million ppm. So anything in between that can be picked up.
Yeah, then I have a new one. For EHM, with LoRaWAN having such low duty cycle, how do you manage the volume of data from condition monitoring, or you have or do you have not hit the bottleneck yet? So I assume it's a question about how much could you actually send until you how much data could you actually send, I assume.
Yeah, so I'll provide the answer and I'll add Santosh to add to that. At this point of time, we are able to send the RMS data. We are also able to send periodically the energy bands. The bandwidth of our vibration sensor is 0 to 2500 hertz. We are splitting that into 10 energy bands, 0 to 250, 250 to 500, 500 to 750, and so on, all the way up to 2500. In addition, we do edge computation, and we compute statistical parameters like crest, kurtosis, and all that, who are relevant for reliability engineers. They can make meaning out of that. We send that as well. And like we previously answered, we also send 36 peaks. We take 36 peaks of the spectrum and we send that as well. And in order to do that, we need to convert the time series data into a frequency spectrum right at the edge. We do that, and then we pick up 36 peaks and we manage to send it over LoRaWAN. And we can do all this, and all the intervals, the published rates for these are adjustable, and you can adjust that. So Santosh, do you want to add any additional details as to how we make that happen?
No, as you rightly said, we have the flexibility where user can able to select what he wants, whether you want an FFT. Okay, if you want FFT, what frequency you need it? Every once in a day, every 4 hours, or every 8 hours. Similarly, energy bands. Okay, you define what frequency you want it. So it is all something very customizable. So you can able to play with the what information required at what time. So that's the flexibility we offer as a solution.
Okay, yeah, thank you.
Okay, then do you offer underground fault detection sensors? I don't know really. Underground, is that mining or is that anyone?
Yeah, not related to us.
No.
Not related to us neither, yeah.
No. So we skip that for now.
I
Sorry.
will check if we have a partner and get back to that to Joseph.
Are multiple embedded LNS can be managed in ThinkPark Web?
So that's for me, I guess. So yes, it's possible, but not unlimited number. So you have the possibility with ThinkPark All-in-One to have up to 5 gateways with 1 master gateway and 4 remote gateways.
Okay, thank you. Can multiple on-prem LNS be managed in one application?
So not today, but the system alarms could be sent to the same monitoring platform, for example.
And then we have the last question. Can you please share your experience with LoRaWAN for control applications? Who will take that? The last one.
So it depends a little bit on the detail, right? About what kind of controlling is Afet talking about.
Yeah.
But of course, as said or as shown in the previous slides, we, for example, controlling, thanks to our Wilson valve sensors, the valve position. Our valves in a large factory, in a large chemical plant, open or closed. That's a typical control application from my side. Of course, we are happy to share some more info, some more details about those applications afterwards.
Yeah, I think that was the last question from the audience, and I would say thank you for joining the webinar. And if you would like to see more webinars, or if you are planning your own webinars for smart industry, please contact me or the team from LoRa Alliance, and we can arrange that. So everybody, have a fantastic day, and thanks for watching.
Thank you. Thanks, everyone. Thanks for the opportunity. Bye.